Frank, we welcome our in-studio guest, Diana Edelman, from vegansbaby.com. And let me tell you something. This website has become such a resource in my home. This thing not only gives you recipes, but also it's a great resource just in terms of finding great vegan restaurants around Las Vegas, things like that. And of course, Vegas are going to think, oh, because they may not be highlighting all of their restaurants, but a lot of good recipes and things like that on there, and resources. First of all, Diana, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I did not know your name per se. But as soon as and we should explain the connection here. We had Austin Aries, pro wrestler, up here a couple of weeks ago. His PR person Gabby was here, and she mentioned you. And I'm embarrassed to say, but she said your name, and I was like, no, I don't think I know her. And she goes, Vegans Baby. I go, Vegans Baby. I know Vegans Baby. I follow Vegans Baby on Instagram, and we read her blog and all the rest of that. So that's you. So are you just at a point now where you answer to Vegans Baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. Or just, hey, you're that girl that does Vegans Baby. Yeah.
Lean on in there.
Sorry, there you go.
How did you now here's another interesting thing. I actually did do some show research on you because I knew we were going to have you in. Mm-hmm. You lived for a time in Thailand.
Yes, I did.
In a city, this is how crazy this is, Frank. The old publicist from the brothel who retired after, like, the Bunny Ranch brothel, if you ever, he retired after being there for like 15 years. He moved to Chiang Mai. Like, he's a guy that I know that lives there, and that's so weird that you moved away from there. But you were there, like, doing wildlife rescue or something, right?
I was working with an elephant rescue organization doing elephant rescues for 2.5 years, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so over there, that's kind of where you decided to get interested in plant-based eating?
I started there. I actually didn't go vegan until I came back to Vegas in 2015. But I stopped eating meat there. I saw like a truck full of pigs going off to slaughter my first week, and that was it. I never had meat again.
Yeah, okay. And then you came back to Vegas and you launched what gave the idea to launch the website and all that sort of thing?
So after Thailand, I moved to Europe, and I was living in Europe for a little over a year, and a lot of my friends were vegan, but I still found it a little bit difficult. And I knew that when I came back to the States, I wanted to go vegan. I did a little research about being vegan in Las Vegas, and there really wasn't any like definitive guide, a lot of up-to-date information. Like I went to Happy Cow, and there are maybe 10, 15 restaurants on there. And just in my time, like I've been in and out of here for almost 15 years now. And I decided that if I was moving back to Vegas with my background in blogging and writing and running websites, I was just going to find my answers instead of having to research it and look to someone else to provide the information. So I created Vegans Baby.
And it's been going for how long now?
It launched May 2016.
Okay, so really not that long.
Yes.
It's been a pretty amazing amount of success in a short period of time. We've got the website up here behind us if you're watching on the Phone Booth Fighting YouTube channel. You know what I always tell people, Diana, is like, because our listeners love to send me the memes of the vegan cartoon, or, whatever it is, and I usually just send them back a picture of a guy having a heart attack or something like that. But what I always try to do, though, is I always just tell people, look, you don't have to go vegan. Just eat vegan. Just try eating vegan. Like you go eat Thai food. That doesn't make you Thai. You just every once in a while you have it. Start there, you know, and see if you like it. Because I think, Frank, I mean, one of the biggest revelations when people try that, especially in this day and age, is that the food can actually be really good.
Yeah, no, actually, and I love food, so I'm not going to eat anything that doesn't taste good. So every time we go out of town together, it's kind of like my thing is when we're together, I actually eat vegan the whole time.
Frank actually found this is Frank's crowning achievement. We were in L.A. Week before last. He found us a vegan Cuban restaurant.
Oh my gosh!
In L.A. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 100% Cuban, 100% vegan, and Frank is half Cuban. So, and I had not really had Cuban food. So I asked him. I enjoyed what we ate, but I asked him. I said, okay, now in terms of Cuban authenticity, how does this measure up? And you said basically, I've had Cuban food now.
Yeah, no, that experience, you understand what Cuban food tastes like now.
Yeah, yeah.
So what is it? Like what did you get?
Oh, what did I get? Picadillo?
Yes.
And so, and then the wife, she got arroz con pollo, which is just chicken and rice, but it's like a yellow rice, and it wasn't obviously chicken. Whatever they substituted for the spices, a lot of garlic taste to it, was extremely good. And I ate mine, and the obviously bananas and plantains. They universally are vegan back and forth, but the whole time I was sitting there like, wow. If I didn't know that this was vegan food, I wouldn't be able to tell. The same thing when we go to the other spot, Doomy's, when we ate that hamburger. That's always my little thing now. I'm like, hey, man, this is one of the best burgers I've ever eaten, regardless if we consider it meat or not, or vegan, or just it tastes good. And as long as food tastes good, I don't get stuck up on like, well, some people, like if you tell them, like, okay, my wife tries to, she always has healthy alternatives to almost everything she prepares. And I've had people come over to the house, and if you sit there and they'll go, what kind of mayonnaise are you using? She's like, oh, it's this olive oil based, healthy fats. And they go, oh, no, I don't even want to try it. I'm like, really? You don't even, trust me, man. You put it in a sandwich, you can't tell. You know what I mean? I can't. Some of those people are like, if it's not Miracle Whip or if it's not mayonnaise. I'm like, if you get one of those individuals closed-minded, I think that they'll have a hard time with it. But my wife, that was one of the meals actually, because she doesn't eat meat hardly ever. I don't think she's a full-blown vegan by definition, because she'll still eat some sushi and whatnot, but for the most part, Jen will go days, weeks, and not have a meat, a source of intake. And she makes corn dog or hot dogs, and it's all vegan. She uses chili cheese, uses the cheese things, the bread, and the different meats. And I even had one time Big Tyler come over, and I'm like, he was eating. These are good. I'm like, yeah, they're vegan. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, just Jen sometimes, like now, especially because of the things that Richard and his Jen have her turned on to. We've been trying.
Both are his wife, my girlfriend, are both named Jennifer. So
yeah, so we do. We pretty routinely once a week cut meat out of our diet. It's starting there. It's like Sundays we don't have to have meat. So.
Well, and my girlfriend was the one who really got into the cooking of it, because when we got together, I was a vegetarian. She wasn't even a vegetarian, and she just sort of was becoming a vegetarian because of me. And I had always thought I wanted to be vegan, but I didn't think I knew enough about cooking. I really honestly didn't know about what was involved. And so she, I came home one day and she'd seen a documentary on Netflix, and she's in tears, and hey, how about we become vegan? I was like, yeah, sure. I've always wanted to do that anyway. But we did it by really getting into cooking together. And I say together, she hears this, she's like, yeah, right, together. Okay, she does the lion's share of it, but I'm very good at cleaning up dishes and chopping. I excel at chopping with the knives. But the point is, it's like kind of something you can do together, and then you end up, and it's healthier too. Like I never get, it's like Frank was talking about, if it tastes good, why get mad at the fact that it's better for you? And I think sometimes for people, Diana, it's almost like it's because they sort of have to do a little reflection and look in the mirror, because if you open that door, then you're kind of acknowledging, maybe I don't have the healthiest diet all the time. I might actually read the back of that package of that thing I'm consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you hear from people like, I mean, do you find that a lot of people that go to the blog are already vegan, or do you find the, new vegans? Like, who do you hear from a lot?
It's honestly a healthy mix. I just did Veganuary Las Vegas. Today was the last day.
I want to, go ahead and say what you were going to say, but I want to explain Veganuary. Okay. Yeah.
So, I had people that did this, and they were just trying it out for the month, and I got, I think, 2 messages the past 24 hours saying, hey, we tried it, and we really liked being vegan. We're going to stick with it.
Yeah.
So, the goal of Vegans Baby is really to just make being vegan accessible, whether it's people coming to town, people who aren't vegan and want to kind of just dip their toes and see, or for people that are vegan and, maybe they cook at home a lot, or, they don't really want to dedicate a whole lot of time to doing a lot of the digging and finding restaurants that have vegan food. That's where Vegans Baby comes in. So it really is just, it's a mix. A lot of people that come to my events tend to be vegan already, and we've built a rapport over the past year and a half. But there's always people coming that have never tried it, and this site's kind of made it easier for them to see what the options are and jump in. Listen
to this Veganuary story, Frank. All right, tell everybody how you started this thing.
So maybe 6 months ago, I was reading an article, and I get the Google alerts that tell you about vegan news, and I want to say it was Philly was doing a vegan dining week, and I thought, oh my God, that would be such a great thing to do here. And But then I started thinking about it, and we already have enough restaurants in town that are vegan that would make it really hard for the community to pick which one they would want to go to in a week, let alone if you brought in restaurants that weren't vegan and we said, hey, you know, why don't you have a vegan menu? You just can't get it all done in a week, and they compete with each other. And so I decided, well, how about we do a vegan dining month? So obviously for me, Veganuary is an international organization, and it's a challenge that happens January 1st every year, and they challenge people to go vegan for the month. You sign up on their website, they send you recipes, they send you tips, and all these different resources to kind of push you along for the month. And so I emailed the head of Veganuary and said, hey, look, I want to do this vegan dining month. I want to do it during Veganuary. Can we partner? And he said, yeah, that's fine. And so decided in October to do it, and January 1st was the start of it.
So all these restaurants work in conjunction sort of with each other to do this thing for January. I heard about it. We were at what is the pizza place that's there in the Luxor? It's in between the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. Slice of Vegas. This place, Frank, I mean, full on like pizza parlor, meatball subs, all that kind of stuff, but one whole page of their menu is vegan. So we go there a lot, and they were talking about Veganuary and how all that was going to work. So there was this whole sort of communal spirit for the month of different restaurants and things like that that you could try. I wanted to ask you about. We find that there are sort of two categories of restaurants that offer vegan options. Either they're 100% plant-based restaurants, which is great a lot of the time, and then sometimes we get the restaurants that are like they're going to have vegan options. Sometimes that can be a little more hit or miss because it depends on how dedicated they are to it. So like Slice of Vegas has this full page, Nacho Daddy, which is another chain that I always see you at, by the way. Every time I eat at a Nacho Daddy, they run this video on a loop of a grand opening that you're doing the red carpet at.
Oh, right, the Scorpions.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not vegan.
Not at all.
Yeah, but I was I was sitting there, and it's weird because about every 15 minutes in between 80s music videos, you go, oh, there's Frank again. Yeah, there. Anyway, but they have like 2 full pages, I think, of vegan options. But do you kind of run into that sometimes where on the downside of where you're like, well, I appreciate there's some effort given here, but maybe this could be tweaked a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to a lot of restaurant owners, and I always tell them, you know, you have like 2 dishes that are fully vegan. Why don't you just go ahead and pull out the dishes that you know you can make vegan and create a vegan menu? It doesn't take that much time to just pull some of these ingredients, like here's a salad with blue cheese. Just take the blue cheese off and put it on a different menu, and the response you'll get from the vegan community will be overwhelming because we want to see that. So the restaurants, you know, there are more than not that just have very few items, or they say, oh, well, we can modify this and this can be vegan. So, and then you have the ones like Nacho Daddy. There's Comal over in, what's it called? East Sahara, where Lotus of Siam used to be. And they've got 5 pages of vegetarian and vegan dishes.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then, you know, next door there's the sausage place, and they have 1 vegan sausage, and I don't even know that it's actually on the menu.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the thing that drives Jennifer crazy all the time is when we'll eat someplace and she's looking at the menu and she can see 6 or 8 different things that if you just one little twist would be vegan.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Or then they'll be like, well, how vegan are you?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's like asking how pregnant I am. It's really not. I'm vegan.
Yeah. Right. Now, now that you've got the success of the Vegans Baby blog, when you walk into vegan restaurants, do they get nervous? Do they see you coming? They're like, is everybody sort of trying to button up?
I don't think they all know me.
Okay.
I think, you know,
well, that's going to change now. We have a very heavily viewed YouTube channel.
I love it. And you know, for the most part, I think the vegan restaurants, like, you know, I work a lot with Veggie Nation, Violet's Vegan.
Yeah.
I tend to know those, but some of the newer ones that are coming on or that I've just started, either, you know, I've been there maybe once, but So I guess, yeah, I guess the vegan restaurants do know me. It's the ones that have the more vegan items that are just maybe starting to get to know me a little bit more.
Yeah.
They're maybe messaging me on Instagram and be like, hey, we have vegan food.
Hey, you should stop by.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Like us.
Yeah.
Now, what about, like, I mean, obviously you're based here in Vegas, but, you know, as this thing grows, there's probably going to be a lot of interest from outside of Vegas. So down the line, do you see maybe partnering with other markets?
One of my many dreams is to actually have like Vegans Baby in smaller markets.
Yeah.
Like LA, I would never want to tackle. It's,
Vegans Baby Fayetteville.
Yeah. Well, that could work. Like, for some reason, I really want Omaha. Like I went to Omaha maybe 5-6 years ago, and that's such a cool little city. And I know that they're starting to get a vegan scene there. So like I'd love to have like Vegans Baby Omaha. You know, some of the smaller markets where it's, you know.
I don't think I've heard anybody say Omaha.
I know, it'd be awesome. All the cattle ranchers show up with their pitchforks and torches.
Omaha's a really cool, like, happening city. It's really wild. But yeah, the smaller markets, I'd love to be able to go and take like maybe a month of the year and do some research and do it. But really, in order to do the whole brand, which is the events and the guides and everything, and eventually like a guidebook, it's. I mean, this took me 2 years, and I'm not where I want to be yet for Vegans Baby in Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's a big commitment. I think more than anything right now, I kind of want to grow Vegans Baby to have guides within it. So, like, if you've been on my site, there's the guide section. So I have, like, a guide to Puerto Vallarta, and then on the back end, which I haven't published yet, but I've been working on for, like, a year. I've got a London one. I've got another Puerto Vallarta one. I'm going back to Chiang Mai in a few weeks, and I'm going to do a Chiang Mai guide. So I want to kind of build that, because in my other life, I'm also a travel blogger, so I kind of want to build that travel component and put that into Vegans Baby as well.
Yeah. Okay, so what amount of, I mean, what's the amount of work that this takes you? I mean, I've got to think it's got to be voluminous, but I mean, how do you typically divide your time sort of running, if it's kind of becoming a full-time thing at this point, or how does this work?
I would love it to be a full-time thing, but it's not making me a whole lot of money yet, so I still have to do like other work in order to do it. But this is I mean, it could very well be a full-time job. I have a list of probably 35 restaurants and businesses that I have been to that I haven't put up on the site yet. I have a list of about, 50 that I still need to go to. So it's just, I do it when I can. I try to do a little bit every week. I'm constantly updating the map, because at least that's, you know, I try to keep that as current as I can, because not necessarily the blog posts or the reviews are going to be up to date, but the map can at least be. So I really want it to be the resource everyone goes to. So I do the best I can to keep it, you know, up to date. Yeah,
I just had a free idea for you. You were thinking about, you know, having a guide. What about literal vegan guides, like vegan Sherpas, where I come to Vegas, I'm here for the week on vacation, and I can get a personal Sherpa guide.
I've been asked to do tours, but people don't want to pay for it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, that's great. Can you take me on a tour? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you know, that's it.
No, we need to work out a deal where you partner with the restaurants like the cab drivers do with the strip clubs, you know?
And get a little kickback.
Yeah, exactly. What you know, one thing that I think about sometimes with veganism is, like, you know, it is one of those things, you get what you pay for. I mean, especially when ingredients are you know, all organic, and, you know, you're getting the best of everything. That's not always going to be the cheapest way, especially to eat out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be expensive either. So do you have like a well-kept secret, or somebody that's vegan on a budget or something like that, you know, a good way to try but not drop a big investment on?
Sure. So I love Ethiopian food, and I like, if you're on a budget, take a friend. A vegan platter for Ethiopian is maybe between $11 and $14, and then you can split it. So like that's my go-to. Like, if you want to really be on a budget. Other like budget restaurants. The bowl place is So Hummus is not a vegan restaurant, but they are phenomenal, and it's maybe $8-9 for a bowl, and that can last you like 2 servings. Purple Potato over on Eastern, they're right around the same ballpark price, and that fills you right up too.
This is probably not something people think about a lot in association with veganism, but I was just thinking something we could enter Frank into, and maybe Mikey for that matter. What about a vegan eating contest? You never see those.
You mean like a vegan hot dog contest where you just stuff your face with
Yeah,
hot dogs?
why don't we ever see those? I mean,
we could do one.
yeah, eating contests are normally so gross, but if they were plant-based, it seems like they'd be a little more palatable.
Just pop some field roast until you can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you
that
think?
could work.
Not until Frank has his next fight coming up in April, so not before then. But I don't know, maybe after that.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
A lot of food at once.
Or we could do a vegan buffalo wing challenge.
A vegan buffalo wing challenge. That's interesting.
Violet's
You know-
vegan. They're about to have buffalo wings, so you can just
Okay.
go there and eat all the buffalo wings.
Yeah.
You know, you got the female world champion like multiple times.
Yeah.
Lives here in Vegas
Oh, I didn't know that.
for eating. Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
let's get her in.
Yeah. Yeah, let's show her a healthier way to do what she's doing. What about you, Mikey? You be in for something like that? Yeah, Mikey's giving the nod. Okay. All right.
Mikey's like me, man. We don't turn down food.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. So put that in the back of
All
your
right.
mind, Diana.
I will do it.
Yeah. After we get after Frank beats Fedor, then he'll have a little time off in between fights, and he can. It's interesting that Austin Aries, came through your channels and that sort of thing. Actually, we were just talking off the air before you came in about different athletes that are vegan, and there
Yeah.
seems to be a growing number of them these days.
There are. I know a lot of NFL players are making the switch to being vegan. That's what I've been really kind of following because I mean that's such an athletic or physical sport. And Austin, who is a pro wrestler, he's been vegan for years now, and he's great. He doesn't have any problem getting his protein. And then you've got the bodybuilders like Tori Washington, who is completely plant based and just absolutely fit. So I think more and more athletes now are making that transition to the vegan lifestyle or to at least a plant based diet.
The website is vegansbaby.com. You can log on there, check it out. Like I said, even if you're not in Las Vegas, there's lots of great recipes and resources on there and stuff like that. And you were kind enough to bring us each a 2018 vegan food guide. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else? Where can people follow you on social media, all that kind of stuff?
It's all vegans, baby,
Okay.
all across the board.
Okay. All right. So give her a follow, and you'll see what we're talking about. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We had a good time chatting.
Yes.
All right, and then we'll regroup after fight's over
fight.
with for our plant-based eating contest.
Oh, I will
You
absolutely.
ready, Mikey?
yeah, I'm excited. I think we could get, because I've never seen anybody do that before. I think we could get some good publicity.
Oh,
off of
absolutely!
that,
It'll be the first vegan food
Yes.
food contest. Yeah, for sure.
The headline: Vegans can be gluttonous too. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We got a plan. Diana, thanks for coming in.
Thank you
It's
for
great
having
meeting you.
me.